Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. Excuse me, to all of my viewers joining me tonight. This is HankAmericanEngine. This is the impromptu live stream I told you all about. The main reason this is impromptu is because I was expecting a package of something I bought to come in last week. Unfortunately, it did not come in last week, so it came in this week. And it's going to be, again, dealing with TAKARA TOMY Plarail. Before I jump into exactly what it is, I am actually requesting my subscribers and my viewers' help. I would like you all to just watch my videos to help me earn a lot more money. Unfortunately, I am going through a bit of a financial emergency, and I just really do need help in regards to making money, and currently my only job is my video making. So please, even if the video audio is muted and you just have it on auto loop, just go ahead and watch my listen, just play the videos in the background. I know they aren't the most interesting, but it would be very helpful to me. Unfortunately, again, due to technical errors, I cannot have any special honorary guests. This is my second to last live stream for the summer. My last live stream for this summer will be Thursday, July the 31st, as August begins on Friday. Moving aside from all of that, we are going to be talking about a new Plarail line that was released, I believe, late last year, early this year, and it is called Plarail Advance. It is not this standard size Plarail train that you see before you right here, the C57. It is this remarkably tiny train. I purchased the C57 one, as it was the only one that truly spoke out to me. And it's just a I guess they call it 3-vehicle pack with the steam locomotive in its already attached tender, the motorized car with advanced control system, I don't know what that is, and the rear car, and the optional addition onto the funnel, as you can see here in the picture, and also here on the Plarail-sized counterpart. So moving its standard Plarail-sized counterpart out of the way, I will open this, and we can have a live unboxing, live commentary from myself about this new Plarail Advance line. This is the first time I'm actually looking into it. I do not know if I will actually get into purchasing many more things for the line. So it's kind of a first for all of us. A decently sized box. And here we have information. I cannot read any of it as I am not Japanese. I do not think there's a need for decals to be applied. Like I said, again, I'm not entirely sure. This is my first time exploring this. For those of you who are not interested in the live streaming, I will do a video review about this and almost everything else my other live streams have contained. This all seems to be a bunch of promotions and QR gifts. Unfortunately, I do not live in Japan, so I do not know what kind of application I need. And thus, this will go promptly back into said box. I guess it's kind of interesting. To whomever is viewing, thank you for joining me. I know I'm not the most interesting person on the face of this planet, but nonetheless, you are a viewer. I wish to entertain you and to educate you about this purchase of mine. If you don't believe me that this is all tiny, think again. Just because it looks bigger on camera doesn't mean that it is. Here we have the additional funnel top, if I can get it out. I'll bring out the Plarail standard size so you can take a look at just how big it is. That's the square funnel attachment. And here it is. It's absolutely dinky tiny. So whereas this big Plarail standard sized one runs on a AA battery and is tender powered, the C57 locomotive we are given is not motorized at all. It is handsomely detailed. There are moving side rods, and there you have a look at the wheels. There are only 3 right on the on this belt together. There's one here in the tender, one here for the moving side rods, and then one up here, which I believe is a combination. No, it is the first pony wheel. And to put this on, I suppose you know it's quite simple. Just squeeze it on like so. Make any tiny adjustments that you see fit. And voila, you have your micro-sized C57. I will pull out a piece of a Plarail track to show you the main gimmick of the line. If you already saw in the box, you can fit 2 of these on just one rail. And as such, it's actually slightly difficult to do it from what I've heard. There are also many complaints. But look, it sits happily on the rail. You can move it back and forth on its own. So I feel that's very, very unique. It is unfortunately not interactive on some of the main features for Plarail, and obviously it's because it requires 2 portions of that one line. I do not believe you are watching, but Mr. Welsh Cole, thank you for subscribing to me. It's always nice to have new subscribers and things of that nature. Hello, Mr. Welsh Cole. Thank you again for subscribing, as I said earlier. I'm going to take a look now at the unpowered coach, and this is actually the rear special observation car. It comes like this with the big real-life Plarail counterpart, so I will quickly set this one down and bump the real-life Plarail counterpart into the background so that way we can see it. Michelle, hello. Thank you for joining me. Mr. Welsh Cole, if you're wondering how it is micro, Plarail Advance is micro. This is the standard Plarail Advance gauge locomotive. This is the C57 locomotive that I've had for only a few months. And this is the Plarail Advance version of the C57. And as I did state at the beginning of this live stream, I will do a proper review. But I'm fairly certain you can see how it is micro. Again, Plarail Advance is restricted to certain tracks from Plarail, such as just the straight and then the curves. Unfortunately, the gimmick with the wheels here, as you can see, it's a very, very tiny wheelbase and wheel space. So say, for example, you have these open points. They will run just fine until you get to this any open area, because I've read complaints that these trains do derail, and you can see that there's enough space there that it'll just simply derail. Unlike here, you'll still get a derailment, but it's still tricky to keep it running fluidly. I do know you did just subscribe, Mr. Welsh Cole. Again, I said thank you and gave you a shout out earlier. This is the powered car. I do not know how to work with it yet. Like I said, it's my first time with this. Here's where you can tell it's powered. It's got the rubber traction tires there, and it does not free roll as far as I am concerned. It looks handsome. I have to say that, and It's going to be very difficult to screw in the AAA battery, really. It's Mr. Welsh Cole, as to where you can pick up these Plarail Advance trains. It's currently on eBay. Michelle, I actually do have to agree with you. I was just following occasional messaging areas, and when I found out they were making steam engines, I found it was pretty cool. YouTube user MyChan actually owns the D51 steam locomotive starter set and the Plarail C57, as you can see here. I did forget to show this in the packaging, but it actually identifies the train you have right there. It's engraved, saying C57. I just thought that was pretty cool. But here's what the motorized unit actually looks like, and I am, for one, impressed. It will take one AAA battery to work it, and it has something called Advanced Control System, or ACS. I do not know what that is. You could contact my channel. I will, whenever I do a proper video review for this. Like I said, it's a discovery for not only myself, but also my subscribers and anyone from Blue Plastic Tracks. But you can have the train go in two directions. If you go to your right, you have it going forward, and then if you go to the left, you have it going in reverse. Allow me to angle the camera down enough, and I can show you, I suppose, how the powered coach goes in the very back. I'm terribly sorry. Like I said, this was extremely impromptu. I had hoped for this to come in last week, but unfortunately it did not work out in my favor. So first I will have it run in reverse for a little bit. And yes, you just saw it derail on these triple points right here. Once again, proving my point that you need to simply keep it on special rails. Well, just mainly the curves and straights. Mr. Welsh Cole, I do know. My last two live streams, I had more viewers. I had 10 maximum, and then a flux between 6 and 9. And again, I don't really mind if people want to come and watch. They choose to of their own volition. As for coupling, I'll just show off the quote-unquote dead. This is how you couple them up, and it actually looks very decent. It's pretty neat to see that for something so small they keep so much detail and it looks realistic. And you know, there's a lot that they can do with this line, and I hope to see more for it. Michelle, I do not think I will get the D51 set. Unfortunately, the only reason I purchased this one is my love for the C57 locomotive. If you can see right now, I have the C57 occupying one line and the coach occupying the other. I do not think I will get any trains, but thank you for pointing that out, because Plarail only releases 2 or 3 packs of these trains. And I was thinking that was one thing that you could possibly work with Plarail, is to release like coaches, more coaches with this theme that aren't battery powered, or maybe more freight cars, or just a pack of engines like steam engines. You can make the C62, which I have sitting back here, or maybe little tank engines. I don't know. Mr. Welsh Cole, if you are asking if I have the trains program, no, I do not. Unfortunately, my computer is mainly good for audio and video editing. But, you know, maybe someday, maybe not. I prefer hands-on physical work features over kind of CG created content. So out here in the very back, I apologize. I cannot zoom in as far as I'm concerned. We have the two coaches, and here we have the little C57. Yes, Michelle, that was one of the things I'm thoroughly impressed with, is the moving side rods. I guess just back here, since this is the only space that doesn't have obstructions or part of a junction, I will just let it run backwards and forwards. As I did say at the very beginning of this video, I will do a proper review. Backwards and forwards. And now you see the importance of buying the proper track. If you go to blueplastictracks.com, I actually put up a poll regarding Plarail Advance, because I myself am slightly interested in this line. It's intriguing to me. Yes, Mr. Welsh Cole, that was what I was talking about, is the Trains simulator. The closest thing I have to it is actually Microsoft Train Simulator. And no, I do not. Again, like I said, I prefer the hands-on working. It lets me feel like I'm actually getting something done instead of just letting the computers do all the work. I like to build sets. I like to show off, you know, one train pulling what seems impossible. Now, a lot of people with Plarail Advance have actually stated that if you have track that doesn't sit well or stay flat, your train will jump the tracks. I will put this to the test. I will look at it and see what can come as a result of this. Again, as I said, I do not know whether or not I will invest in more. I do know I would like to get at least 3 more of just these coaches, just kind of like this back one here, just so that way I can have the C57 run with the 5 coaches, because in real life the C57 will run with these kinds of brown coaches with 5 of them behind, or 7 coaches at a time. And I would love to see that really with this one, because this C57 was the first Plarail steam engine that I purchased. I do agree with you, Michelle. It's cool that they did make this, and it's a very neat idea in my eyes. I mean, you can see just how much detail is on the big one right there, but if you just look at this one, and I will put it on a piece of track for you, if you just look at the detail that is just packed onto this little micro-sized model, I think you would even agree with me in saying that it was well worth the purchase. You know, especially seeing the moving side rods go back and forth, and the plastic is molded so well that on the dome of the boiler here you can actually see the whistle. I may go and fill that in with a little gold paint or something of the nature, but I just find it so incredible that something this small can look so accurate to not only the Plarail standard counterpart, but its real-life locomotive form as well. And I presume, well, it's not safe to say presume, it's the reason I bought it, is my immense love for the C57 locomotive. They are actually called Beautiful Ladies in Japan, the Beautiful Lady. And, you know, I don't blame them. It is a very gorgeous steam engine moving forwards and backwards down the track. I do have to say I'm not going to lie, I love this engine. It's really, really fun to watch move back and forth. Let me pull out some track. I'll lay some track right up front for you guys, so that way you can get a bit more action being seen up at the front. I do know that people wanted to join this live stream, and again, unfortunately, technical errors have prevented me so. Michelle, I will agree with you. I would like to see Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends versions, but unfortunately, that's a licensed product, and I don't think that they will do that. But it would be very cool if they did, I'm not going to lie. Just a little more track, so that way it's not so far away and out of sight. It can be brought up here in the view. Like I said, members on Blue Plastic Tracks who have purchased this and done reviews or have contemplated buying these have actually told me that there are issues with them sometimes. Okay. Michelle, your comment is saying it's like the normal engine compacted also if you want to do a mini review on the HD300. Maybe a bit later. I'm still kind of investigating some of the comments and things that have been thrown out to me when I posted that I was purchasing this locomotive. A lot of people will say it's tricky to put it on the track, and I won't blame them because of such a small wheelbase. But there are actually special pieces of track they sell, like junctions, stopping points, and things of that nature for these trains. And I might invest in like a gradient set, as the track is good for almost everything. The gradient set is just kind of a straight uphill slope, but it's not like the big J kind that we see. It's kind of a gentle incline that goes. You did say that comment, Michelle. Mr. Welsh Cole. Oh yes, I apologize. That was you, not Michelle. But I'm pretty sure everyone is thinking the same idea, that it would be unique to see Thomas and Friends ones. Let me see. Can I get you to sit on the rails properly? What do you know? I'm having trouble, like people say they do. Okay, back she goes. Michelle, like I did say, maybe in about 4 minutes I will do a review of the HD300 diesel locomotive. But currently I see no problems with this. I do say, I will not be ashamed to say it, I love this locomotive. It's just gorgeous no matter how I look at it, and I can't wait to do a video review for it. Mr. Welsh Cole, the Smoke and Steam Thomas was actually very difficult to make, and cramming all of that into something this small would be excessively difficult. I have not done nearly as daring a custom as that, but putting something that creates steam smoke, that would be extremely difficult to put something into something so small. But yes, it is. It would be a novelty idea. I wish I had enough space to create a little circuit for it to just run around continuously on, but unfortunately, I do not. I will agree, it does look pretty cool, but like I said, if you really want to spend the money in buying this, I would say go for it. I do not know how much they retail in Japanese yen, but I paid $32 for mine. I do not know as of yet if that is a fair price, but I think maybe something along the lines of $15 or $17 with $8 to $10 shipping would be decent, but nothing like what I've paid. Unfortunately, the seller I bought it from was the only one selling it, and it was the cheapest one I could find on eBay. But yes, I do, Mr. Welsh Cole, I do understand what you mean, but again, as I said, it's very difficult to put that big of a mechanism into something so small. Michelle, what other Japanese trains should Plarail make for their advanced range? I know that they've made a few freight diesels. I would love to see a JNR DD 14, which you can actually see in my snow blower review set. I would love for them to make one of these, hopefully motorized like this one. I would also love for them to make a DE10 like this locomotive, the dummy one that I have. Again, same reasons as the DD14. It's just a unique looking locomotive. Also, I would love for them to make a DD51 locomotive. These are actually very handsome looking. There's a lot I could say I would want for them to make, but you know, the Plarail company already does an amazing job with not only Thomas and Friends. Again, Mr. Welsh Colt, fake smoke would be good and very unique, especially for just the steam engines, because watching them chaunter down the track at such speeds that the side rods are a blur. Excuse me. It would be wonderful to see it, to give it just that tiny touch more realism, but like I said, putting that mechanism into something this small, it's so difficult. Actually, Mr. Welsh Cole, I do not own any Ertls that I have with me. Unfortunately, they've either been given away or tossed out because of how much love they've received, not only from me, but from my two older brothers when they were children. Ertls were as common as a Matchbox car were back then. So it was very easy to pick up one and, you know, just play with it and play with it and play with it. And then, what do you know, it's so worn you can't even give it away to a kid who would love to have it. And even if I did have any Ertls, I do believe I've put them away, and I do not remember where. So unfortunately, I could not show any Ertls to you. Again, I do apologize. This one is very impromptu, unlike my other ones, which were scheduled and planned. Like I said, I got this in the mail today, almost a month after I had ordered it. So I am kind of just trying to figure out what else I can say. I have to admit, the coupling system is very unique. It's just kind of its own take on the Tomy couplings, and I find that even the dummy coach, well, any dummy vehicle, has a great amount of detail, and I'm very, very happy about that. It just looks incredible. Especially if you have more than just one train, you can have them sitting here on one line. I'll put the coach there, for example, and then look. It looks so realistic just having the train come and steam past. Mr. Welsh Cole, unfortunately, that is a very personal question that you are asking me, and I cannot, unfortunately, answer it. That is asking me, again, something that is extremely, extremely personal, and as much as I would love to answer that question for you, I'm just unable to. Michelle, if I got a Fisher-Price 2013 Hank, like I said, I would probably throw up. Like I said, when I saw the redesign, I really did throw up on it. Mr. Welsh Cole, in regards to your question, I only give my Skype to my family, and currently my business partner, who's given me my partnership, so unfortunately I do not just give that away to anybody. I will take a siding now on the Plarail Advance as I try to figure out what else I may say about it. Michelle, I do know that you asked me to do a review on the HD300. Is there anything in particular you wanted me to do with the review, or to just kind of look at the locomotive and say what I have to say about it, if I like it, if I don't, what they could do better, what they could do nothing of? Please elaborate on that for me in regards to what you would like for the review. Okay, the stream status is bad. I'm sorry, you'll have to deal with it at 720p, I believe. Michelle, so please tell me what you did mean with your wanting of me to do a review of this locomotive. That way I know if you just want me to do it just based on what I feel about it. But like I was saying about this Plarail Advance, it's definitely something if you're really interested in easy storage, like if you want to stay with the Plarail line, but these standard sized engines are just too big for you, or they take up too much space, and you just kind of want to have smaller trains running around. I would recommend buying it and starting off with the starter sets they sell and just adding in, you know, like the C57, just buy one of those. Christopher Bouchard, you have missed, I believe, almost the whole review about the C57 Plarail Advance. I do like it. There's a lot of neat features to it. Taking the siding away from that, I'm going to talk about the HD300. You've seen it in a few videos, or just two. My second model showcase and rail fanning on Sodor, the Mid-American. As far as the looks, the one complaint even YouTube user UC Weapon has is that the plastic here is molded for the guardrail, as you can see here in the picture. Unfortunately, they couldn't hollow out the plastic. And, you know, I can understand why it's a bit difficult to keep the plastic strong, to keep it from breaking and being brittle. I only did one commodity touch-up, that was painting the black knuckle coupler. In regards to it looking like a real-life locomotive, it's almost exactly spot on, and I really like it. I may invest in another one, as it does look like an American shunting type locomotive. But I would say the only thing I would have to change is, even if they could just paint in this area of the grid, just the red that the model is, I think that would give it a little bit more splash of life to it. As UC Weapon has said, it is a strong little diesel. I do have to agree, it is strong. Depending on the battery you give it, you know, from the brand, it can be slow, it can be fast, but it'll still have its strength. There's not much I can really say about it. I just love having it. And again, UC Weapon convinced me to purchase it with his review. So that's kind of the bad news for me, is there went $15, $11 for the engine, and $4 for the shipping. But I love it. It's possibly one of my most favorite diesels from the real life assortment that I have. Back to the Plarail Advance. I don't think I can find anything wrong, because back here you can see the standard Plarail gauge C57. I will uncouple the powered coach and successfully managed to knock over the other one, and couple these two together, and you can see it's almost quite literally a striking resemblance. I do have to say, like I did say, paying $32 for this little 3-pack is just a bit overpriced for me. I would have liked to pay no more than $20, $25 at the $27 actually at the most. But I do find it as a novelty way to keep in touch with your Plarail side if you wanted to have more of the trains. Simply for the sake of space, because say you have a lot of track but you don't have enough room for all the boxes that these Japanese ones come in, and you have enough room for, say, a couple of these. Hello, Ben Fan. I'm alright. Thank you. I do have to agree that's probably the only reason why I purchased it is from my love of the C57. Michelle, actually, yes, I do plan on buying another one of those Lego City tow trucks. It's one of my favorites. Guilty pleasure. But again, as I do say, if you look between the two, aside from scale size, there's no quote-unquote generic differences, aside from the obvious ones. But I just love the accuracy that both models have, especially the Plarail Advance, because the locomotive has so much jam-packed onto it and into it that you would think it's almost a one-to-one replica, just shrunken down. I guess if you would want to get into this, as I did say earlier, start on all the Plarail Advance starter sets and then add in engines and rolling stock, and then you know, destinations and things of that nature. It does get fairly pricey. The lowest I've ever seen that D51 steam locomotive set was for about $88 with free shipping. And for me, that is extremely expensive for a small set. Like I said, $32 for this little 3-pack is expensive. But when I do get the time to do a real review over it, such as filming it, and that way it's not me stuttering. If you're asking about this DD51 cargo set, one, I did want to add some of these box cars to my collection. It's because they look and almost resemble one-to-one some of the ones I see here in North America. And two, it explains down here that there's a high-power motor. If you've taken a look at my reviews for the Hyper Guardian cargo and transliners, you will see that they also possess high-power motors as well. And the thing I like about that motor is, if I wanted to give it to Duck, I could just switch the motors. If I wanted to give it to my C62 here, I could just switch the motors. And it's just having that ability to just quickly swap out the motor to another locomotive under my wish. So that way it can go faster and things of that nature. But like I was saying with the Plarail Advance, it's a great set. Wish I had paid no more than $27 for it. $32 seems a little excessive to me. It's a beautiful novelty idea. I mean, if you have, say, a coffee table and you just want to run a little train on the inside, two Plarail Advance trains would be perfect. The C57 was built specifically for passenger work, so You could buy one passenger train, one freight train. And personally, I just love hearing the little clickety-clack of the wheels. Of course, play rails is the standard gauge play rails is nice too. If you can sometimes hear it, but the problems I've heard about the trains jumping the tracks, it usually is dependent on, say, how high the track is uneven, because if you barely put it in, then obviously you're going to have a derailment. But, you know, say you push it down all the way and, you know, it'll still just rise up on its own accord. There will be that little hiccup. You can't really fight those. Look, I know you want to run, but you can't run off the edge of my dresser. I don't want you falling and breaking, then I have to buy another one. I don't have $33 to spend on another one, and quite frankly, it's too expensive for me. If I have no other questions or comments regarding this in about the next 2 minutes, I will end this live stream by saying that the Plarail Advance C57 is a beautiful little steam engine to add to your collection, or to possibly start your interest in Plarail Advance. It is one of only 2 steam locomotives manufactured that have moving side rods. Also, there will be hiccups. You can't control the track all the time, but do not run it over standard gauge Plarail stop and go tracks. It will not work properly. Do not run it on the junctions or up those J hill inclines. There are special track sets sold specifically for the Plarail Advance. Michelle, you say it looks really nice. Maybe when I get more money, I'll get some Plarail Advance, just the steam engines. Also, does it work on TrackMaster? I do not know if it works on TrackMaster track. I would like to safely say it would. The only piece of TrackMaster track I have down here with me is the stop and go track. But since you brought that up, I don't see why we can't just take a look and see if it actually does. I will get a little adapter and quickly see how it goes. I can do a quick run of that right now. And we'll see how it goes. For people who mainly own TrackMaster, this may or may not be a reason for you to postpone it. I unfortunately say I do have a bad feeling because only one side is contentedly straight, and the other side where the other part of the wheel will rest is extremely bumpy. Let's see how this beautiful lady, well, this beautiful little lady, handles on TrackMaster track. And here we are in reverse. It's very bumpy. And you can see here that it's actually rising up because it's so tight. So I do not believe it will work on TrackMaster. It's already been shown here. It can run on it, but I do not recommend it simply because it looked like she was ready to just derail. The instant she got back onto Plarail, she was so much happier. And you don't really want to disappoint a beautiful lady like this C57, do you? But for me, I would call that test, I suppose you could say it's inconclusive, but for me it proved something. Is it can go up on through the adapters, but running on TrackMaster track, I do not advise it. Simply because It was built for the Plarail track because the Plarail track will be kept nice and straight. There are no bumps on it like there are on the TrackMaster track, and therefore it makes things easier. Yes, Ben Fan, I do realize I'm going to purchase 4 more Plarail Connors, but if you watched my 3rd live stream, I did say I was waiting until October for that decision because of the Connor and Caitlin Super Express King of the Railway pack, and seeing how many coaches come there for both Connor and Caitlin. So that will be my big mental point, I suppose, is determining whether or not I will buy them then and there, seeing as how many coaches come in and also the price and availability. If there is one thing I can say about the Plarail Advance line is how much I really do like it, simply because, I mean, it can do something most Tomy trains can't. Misel, like I did say, you know, possibly it could work, but again, most of my standard TrackMaster track is put away, and the only one I have here is the Stop and Go. I just managed to either kill or wound couple passengers. Sorry, guys. You can see here that one part is just simply straight and the other part is textured. Also, when I ran it, the side rods had troubles moving, and you can see here it's actually a very, very tight squeeze. Like I said, maybe it would work. I'll have to look into it. But I think mainly it was just designed for the Tomy track, because you can see how the Tomy track is nice and straight, and it's actually very nice to see it speeding down. Well, there was one of those track issues I heard about. I do have to admit, I love hearing the little clickety-clack of the wheels on the tracks here. It's just, I guess, its own little pretty score of music. And like I said, I wish Plarail, with these Plarail Advance sets, would release, like, say, C57 Super Express set where it comes with the beautiful lady, her funnel attachment, the one motorized coach, 3 other coaches that look like the motorized 3 other middle coaches, and then the last observation coach. And then you could just have it pulling 5 little coaches like it has done in real life. And I've managed to successfully derail the train. Why? Stay on the track. But a lot of people on blue plastic tracks who own these have told me that if track is risen, like if a train's going into the curve from a straight and the track isn't right, the train will derail, and I will say that does happen. To quickly wrap this up, if you're interested in Plarail Advance simply because you don't have the space to keep all these cool big boxes or these big engines, but you have plenty of room for the track, I would say jump in with the D51 starter set and any other starter sets they may have made. Buy some of the accessories. I would highly recommend buying this C57. It's just so gorgeous. I love looking at it. I do believe I'm making the standard gauge one envious. Sorry. But try to find a good bargain. $33 is a little overpriced. To answer the last question, Michelle, my last live stream will be this Thursday, July the 31st at 9 p.m. I will hopefully try to get some honorary guests to join me, and I guess it'll be about my channel in general. You can ask me questions about my collection, about what I do with filming, what my plans may be for the future of my channel, if there is a potential series coming in. but that will be this Thursday. I will try to bump it back to 8 o'clock if possible. Like I said, I don't know what I have planned for that day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to anyone who's joined me. One last question from Christopher Bouchard. Do you think Plarail Advance should try making the small railway characters? Chris, I do not know if you can see the big scale size difference, but here's the C57 Plarail Advance. I will bump it over to the to the inside line for me, the outer line for you guys. I guess you can draw your own conclusions there. I do not think that they should be able to do it. I feel if they were to do those kinds of engines, that they should have the trains run on specially made track just on this inside area, so that way they can look decent one size compared to the other. This will conclude my live stream. Unfortunately, I do need to get ready. I have a very busy day tomorrow and for Wednesday. So again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to my viewers all around the globe. Follow me on Google Plus for more information. Follow me on Twitter for more information. Both of those you can find through my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. For those of you here in the United States in Eastern Time Zone, good night. Here in Central Time Zone, good night. In the two previous time zones behind Central, good night. I suppose it's evident how tired I am from a very busy day. Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you all on Thursday, July the 31st at 9 p.m. unless I otherwise tweet or post here or on that scheduled live stream. Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you again next time.